Hey everybody, Andrew back with another point. This is the second video in my series that I'm going to be talking about how to be a leader. And first off, I just want to say that if you didn't watch my introduction video, you should start with that video, because with informational, educational type videos, there's a lot of implied knowledge that I'm expecting you to, at least somewhat know about when I'm talking. So if you don't necessarily watch the videos in order, there might be some things that don't make sense. And, if you already know how to be a leader, if you are a leader in every day, then I'm sure the things will still make sense to you. But, if you're being honest and you don't feel like you're a leader, you don't feel like people just are trying to be your student, that they're not coming up to you asking you for advice or whatever your goal is as being a leader, then you should really start from the beginning, because if you don't start from the beginning, then there's probably going to be a lot of things that are confusing as I'm going along. And so, like I was saying in the first video, everybody has a whole lot of secrets, and a lot of the time the biggest secret that people hold on to is that they don't have any secrets, that they're being the authentic version of themselves, that they know who they are, and that they are who they say they are. And you can tell yourself that all you want, but eventually it's going to get stuck inside your head and you're going to forget who you are, because you're going to have told so many people that you are being you, and you're going to actually act as if that is the real you, and then it's actually going to slowly integrate itself into your life, and the people who you're around are going to expect you to be that person, and then when you're around those people, you're going to have to be that person, or in other words, you're going to have to keep certain secrets, you're going to have to refrain from being the real you. And so the biggest secret that we have a lot of the time is just that we are being ourselves. So if we can, kind of scratch that secret off, just getting started with this series, then, that's really the only way you're going to get anything out of this. Because if you're way too busy saying, I don't have any secrets, no, I am the authentic version of myself, no, I am perfect, I do everything right, then you're not going to get anything out of a video that's trying to actually break open the things that most people hide. And I'm not trying to just say, hey, look at you're hiding, you're not being the authentic version of yourself. I'm not here to label you something. What I'm trying to do is take the labels that you've given yourself and that society has placed on you, and help you kind of look into those and see which parts of them are true and which parts of them are false, so that you can dismantle those secrets that you've kept for so long, because they really do build up. Me of all people, I know how badly they can possibly build up, to the point that you literally do forget who you are. Just trying to help certain people along my journey, I have hidden certain aspects of myself so that I'm kind of like a spy, so that they don't think that I'm some spiritual teacher, and instead they think I'm just some normal typical dude. And when they approach me as a typical dude, it kind of opens them up. They're more susceptible to listening to what I have to say, because if I confront them as a spiritual teacher, then they're just like, you're trying to convert me, stay away, I don't want to hear anything you have to say. And so that right there is one of the secrets that almost any religious teacher, any spiritual teacher, almost has to keep. They have to, not be a spiritual teacher, because if they're a spiritual teacher, then it reduces the amount of people you can reach by a significant amount. But I later realized that that's not something that's good to do, because by trying to force people to learn who aren't ready is never going to work out. You're just going to waste all of your time. And so it is actually, even in that situation, better to be yourself and be honest that you are trying to be a spiritual teacher. You may not be trying to convert, in my case, because I don't have a particular religion that I'm part of. My religion is use your own free will to pick and determine and find who your own God is. And, compare and contrast your opinion with other wise people, because that's going to help you come to a more accurate version of the truth. And I believe that even if you live 500 lives, you can constantly, in every single one, build a little bit and a little bit and a little bit and a little bit closer to the truth, and you'll never, ever, ever actually fully get it. So, my religion is that I can't convert you, because there's, because I'm still a student, I can only kind of give you pieces of what I've figured out, because I will never actually say what I'm saying is guaranteed to work and it's actually definitely right, because I know for sure that I have a lot more growing and a lot more building to do myself. Alright? And so, anyway, back to the topic of, holding secrets. The biggest secret I just said, which is just always, acting like you don't have any secrets. And that's the most important one to get rid of for sure if you're going to get anything out of this series. But at the same time, I also want, like I said in the introduction video, for you to not be afraid to express those things. For you to not have to, try to be something that you're not for certain people. And, it's really a difficult situation that we have as people, because we're constantly trying to decide what it is that we actually like. And if we can't decide what we like, then we're not ever going to grow. And each and every time we decide what we like, somebody is going to tell us that they don't like that. And unfortunately, that makes people grow apart. And if people really care for each other, then they don't have to grow apart. They can kind of work together to grow, to share their points of view. And if you can be a respectful person, then you're going to be able to more or less, grow away and still have respect for each other. But there will eventually be a point when you're so different from each other that it's unhealthy to be around each other, because each time you guys say something, you kind of grow a little bit closer together, and you grow a little closer together. And if I'm talking about your wife per se, and this truly is the person you want to spend the rest of your life with, then maybe you're willing to give up your own personal growth in whichever direction to just simply be with that person. But as far as just friends and teachers and especially people that you don't know, you don't need to at all work in their direction. In fact, probably the reason you ran into that person is particularly so that you can show them your point of view and express to them what you think is different, because just so long as they have the respect and integrity to listen what you have to say, then it's a opportunity for growth. And so that's another point that I want to touch in this video, is that every single time that you come into contact with another person is an opportunity for personal growth. That's a huge quality of a leader, because any leader who thinks that they're grown, who thinks that they're a king, who thinks that they're noble, who thinks that they're perfect in every way, they don't look at relationships and just everyday interactions. And I'm not even talking with people necessarily. Maybe just a reaction that you have with your pet. Most people, especially people who are entitled and think of themselves as kings and royalty or whatever I'm trying to say, they have a barrier, they have a block. It's like, nah, I can't learn anymore. And the same thing happens for any art. It's like, once you know enough and you're the top of the freaking class, then you get this kind of mental block in your head that says, I got this. There's no more for me to learn. But that's completely false. And I want you to blow that out of proportion, because that's what a king does. That's what a leader actually does, is they don't just let that level keep them from growing. Because how are you going to stay leader if you just stay stuck at that spot? Everybody else is going to be like, well, he's pretty cool, yeah, but, I don't see what he's doing different than me. But if you're actually constantly taking the time to improve yourself, no matter how small the interaction is, then people are going to look up to that. Have you ever had a conversation with somebody who just listens intently, who may be older than you even, but every time you open your mouth, they're just quiet and they just sit back and listen? You automatically have a little bit of respect for those people, because you can tell that they don't put themselves above you, and they are actually trying to listen to what you have to say. Alright? And so I would say that a huge quality of being a leader for this first episode, the main point, is that one, you have to try and take something out of every interaction that you're in, even if you think that it's something really, really insignificant. And I mean, don't let it get to the point that it like becomes, all that you put your thought into is just every single thing. Like, oh, I don't want to pick this pen up because if I pick this pen up, then, that's going to give me the thought of going and writing music. So what I'm going to do instead is just leave the pen there and just, go take a shower, because then I might be in a better mental state before I go and grab a pen and start writing. That's a little overboard. I mean, if that's how you want to do it and you have the mental capacity to deal with that, then fine, go for it. Because, the more situations that you're present for and that you're able to get something out of, the more you're going to grow. It's as simple as that. And so, point one to being a leader is that you need to keep making progression. It's like a competition, an unseen competition with every single person that ever lived. Not even people who are currently alive, not only just people who are currently alive, but everybody who's ever lived. You have to think of it. Was there ever a person that did this better than me? Alright? And that's not so that you can say that you're better than them, because that's the second point, but it's just to say that you tried to get something out of it. You didn't bypass it. You didn't let it go in one ear and out the other. You took something from it. And the more things that you take something from, the more you're going to understand. And with knowledge comes power. It's as simple as that. Power is the same thing as leadership. And really what power is people will follow you. People will listen to you, and people will want to learn from you. Alright? And so the second point is just that you can't elevate yourself above other people. You can't say, nah, I'm perfect. And you can't say, no, I am being myself. Because no matter if you're talking to Gandhi or the Buddha or the Dalai Lama, it doesn't matter. No matter who you're talking about, they're going to tell you that they don't know who they are. And, if you want to get really spiritual, you are the universe. You are... you're just you. Don't get it too confused. You're not actually God or anything, but you are your mind. Your mind consists of the whole universe. And lots of spiritual practices will teach you how to disidentify from your mind, but you don't want to totally enemy your mind. You don't want your mind to be something that you're not, because your mind is still something that is part of you. It's just a small part of you, but at the same time, it's still part of you. And that just goes to show how big you really are, because if your mind, which consists everything in the whole universe, is just a small part of you, then, you got to be something much bigger. And that just goes to show my point on why, you can't ever say that you got this. You can't ever say you know who you are, and you can't ever say you're perfect. And as soon as you do, then you're basically putting a bar on your spiritual progression and your progression to being a leader, to being somebody that everybody else looks up to. All right. And so just as far as secrets go, you really need to just, for starters, you need to make sure that you are not acting as if you don't have any secrets, because it's like, even if you're trying to be honest your whole life, then there's going to be, certain people that you come into contact with that are saying that you're not being honest, that you're not being completely honest. And although they may be wrong, you might just have to be like, all right, dude, forget it. Maybe I'm not being honest, whatever, peace out. And that right there is, it's a secret, more or less. It's something that, it's one example of one of those uncontrollable secrets that we have, and honestly, unless you're some kind of saint, you pretty much have, at least 5 secrets, maybe more than you can count on one or even two hands. But either way, you need to not keep secrets. You need to not elevate yourself above other people so that you can keep growing. And you also need to try and take something out of every single event also, so you can keep growing at a very quick rate, because the quicker you grow, the harder it's going to be for anyone to keep up with you. And it's not some type of challenge, some type of competition, even though it really is, but it's like a friendly competition. It's a competition that you actually get credit for, that people actually look up to you for winning, because literally everybody in the whole world is willing to admit that they don't have the capacity and the ability to actually do those three things. And it is completely impossible to do all three of those things. Like, for example, if you're trying to not put yourself above people, how are you ever going to be a teacher? That's just being too humble when you're not ever putting yourself above somebody, because in this movie we call life, sometimes you have to be the authority figure. You have to teach people. You have to show people the ropes. And so, yes, you may be better than somebody at a particular skill, or you may be more wealthy than somebody, or whatever it may be, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're better than that person. And so, on the other hand, as far as, taking something out of every single thing, that's obvious why it's impossible. And, as far as not holding a secret, I pretty much just said why that's impossible. So, all three of these things are completely impossible and take a severe amount of dedication to accomplish. And that's why very few people have the traits needed to be a leader. But if you want to be a leader, and if you want to be somebody that everybody looks up to, then that's where you have to start. All right. And so, yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I look forward to posting a lot more. And, I'm not too sure exactly how I'm going to keep the series going. I'm really just hoping that, the universe will provide for me, the information that you need to hear. Because, I have so much knowledge to share, but if I'm not in the right state of mind, then it doesn't ever come up at the right time. So what I'm going to try and do is, make sure that I'm focused completely before I do any of these videos for you guys, so that even if I am repeating some things, I'm at least kind of making them line up, and I'm kind of making more sense than I would be if I just hopped into it blindly. And, yep, like I said, that's it for this video. Look forward to making more for you. Hopefully I'll be able to keep it going for, a couple hundred videos. Who knows? Set your bars high, if you ever set a limit, you're not going to be able to break it. And so that's what I'm going to do, lead by example at least. And, yep, that's it. So I hope you guys have a good day, and I hope that you got something out of the video. Peace out.